So Disney's new trend is to take their old original movies from back in the day and create them into live action. We saw this a few years ago with Cinderella, Maleficent, and last year with Jungle Book, and now it's time for Beauty and the Beast. So let's see how it was. So Beauty and the Beast is directed by Bill Condon. It stars Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Josh Gad, and tons of other great actors. Now, if you weren't already aware of the story, it's about a prince who is cursed to live as a beast due to his selfish nature, and a young girl discovering his enchanted castle and learning about all the magical things that go on there, and eventually they go on to fall in love. Now, this movie is very similar to the 1991 animated classic. They did a really good job of taking the animated movie and just updating it and putting it onto screen in live action. Of course, they added a few things and, made the lore of some characters better and filled in a lot of plot holes that I found in the original. And I think that's a great addition, and I really enjoyed watching this movie. I thought it was such a good addition to the new Disney live action lineup, and it was great. So one thing that I was a little bit worried about going into this movie was the director. Bill Condon has had some bumps in the past. One of his most recent movies was the Twilight movie Breaking Dawn, and that wasn't a very good movie. So going into this and helming this huge project, I had hopes that it would be a lot better than that. And after seeing it, I can say it was, and there's no need to worry if that was ever a concern of yours. Bill Condon did a great job directing this movie and creating this magical, visually pleasing world, and props to him. The production design in this movie actually looked really good. Everything in it visually pleasing. It was great. The castle, I loved the castle. The castle looked so cool. The famous ballroom scene that we all loved from the classic, that ballroom in this new movie is so magical and gorgeous to look at, and that famous dance, they did such a good job with that dance in this movie. And the costumes were great. I loved all the costumes in this movie. I thought they were great transitions from the animated classic into live action, and it all felt magical and alive, and I guess it kind of was alive if you think about it. So going off of the production design and all the visuals, there's something I wanted to touch. The Beast had a lot of controversy because of his CGI. A lot of people did not love the way the Beast looked. Personally, I did like it. I did not expect the Beast to look super hyper-realistic or anything like that. I know a lot of people are comparing it to the movie that came out last week, Kong, and saying that if Kong looked as real as he did, why doesn't the Beast? Well, Kong is based off of an actual thing. It's based off of an ape. They can do motion capture and actually create it to look just like that, as we've seen with all those Rise of the Planet of the Apes movies and all those ones. And now with Kong, it's taking something and making it look like something that does exist. With the Beast, they had to motion capture something and computer generate it to look like something from a cartoon. It's not based off something real, and therefore it shouldn't look as hyper-realistic as the monkeys from those other movies, right? So when I saw this, it's exactly what I expected and wanted it to look like. It was good, in my opinion, and I don't think people should be complaining about it as much as they really are. I liked it, and more people should, to be perfectly honest. It was pretty much what I expected and what I wanted to see from the Beast. Now, as for the characters, I loved the characters in this movie. I thought they were so great. So, a lot of people are giving tons of praise to Luke Evans and Josh Gad for their portrayals of Gaston and LeFou, and I love them. I thought they were really funny, and they brought a great comedy aspect to this film. But the real standouts for me were Emma Watson as Belle and Dan Stevens as the Beast. They were what really sold it for me. So Emma Watson was actually great in this movie. I heard that she was cast as Belle, and I was like, okay, yeah, she looks the part, but can she do it? The answer is yes. She can clearly play a Disney princess. She was charming, she looked the part, she wore the costumes wonderfully, she said the lines perfectly, and boy, when she sang, I did not expect her to sound like that. She is actually, surprisingly, a great singer. Her voice is wonderful. and she brought so much to the character. And of course, Dan Stevens as the Beast was beastly. It was awesome. I loved his portrayal of the Beast, and I thought it brought a great mixture of both dark, scariness and funny comedy to it. And the Beast was a really great character in this one. You could really connect with him and understand him, and it brought more to the character than the original cartoon did. And I think that was a great addition to this movie compared to the other one. Dan Stevens' portrayal of the Beast was great. So I've been talking a lot about how they've, added a few things in and changed some stuff from the original, and I've made sure to tell you it's all for the best. At least in my opinion, I think all the changes they made were good changes. For example, without giving anything away, this is an example that I think shows that this new live-action adaptation really benefits from this new movie. So, in the original, the entire romance and movie takes place over maybe 2 days tops. That is not enough time to build a convincing romance between a beast and a girl. Not even talking about, a man and a woman. So, this movie noticed that, and they took that into consideration. When they made this movie, they made sure to show that this movie took place over at least 5 days. It takes this time to develop a relationship, a believable relationship, where it shows these two characters connecting over different things and actually building a romance that is believable. And I thought that was a great change from the original, because the whole movie is a romance, and the romance itself needs to be believable. And in this movie, it was a lot more believable than the original. So that's the change that I thought really, really worked. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this film, and I'm really happy Disney is continuing to make these live-action versions of all their original classics. I'm really excited for everything they do next, and for this movie, I'm going to give it an 8.3 out of 10, and yeah, if you've seen it or planning to see it, comment down below and let me know all your thoughts on it. And until next time, I'll see ya.